Hello and welcome to Andy Shared Series 11, episode number 9 for Sunday the 13th of November 2022. Hello there everybody, welcome to the show. It is me back with you once again for another Sunday evening. Hello and good evening. Right, just got to get everything sorted out and see what's happening. The chat room is open here on YouTube. If you're on YouTube watching us live, then feel free to take part in the chat room. I see there's one or two people there already. Penfold is there, Dominic's there, Christopher's there, and Ian's there as well at the minute. I can see. So evening all. Dominic is slowly getting back up to speed after his bout of COVID, apparently. He says he's feeling much better this week. He says it really zaps your energy, though. Yes, it certainly does. I think when I got it, I think I only had a very mild dose of it because I wasn't too bad. I think I got lucky, basically, because a lot of people who've had it a lot worse than I did. Yeah, it does zap your energy. It definitely does, and it leaves you feeling bleh as well for quite a long time afterwards. Right, we will crack on tonight. Omegek's here as well. Evening. We will crack on through it all tonight. Got all sorts going on tonight and stuff. There's stuff everywhere at the moment. It's all piled up everywhere. It is. There's just tons and tons of stuff. But before we get started, I'll just do a bit of housekeeping that we normally do, where we tell you that you can visit the website if you like. Here, andyshed.coldpress.net is the website. If you're having trouble finding us and that, go to that website, and on the main menu at the top there is an option that says live. Click on live and you should be able to watch this stream through that website if you so wish. Also remember, we've got a forum which is here, gpotelephones.proboards.com. That is the telephone for all things telephonic, etc. And if you like what you do here and you fancy joining us on Patreon for a bit of extra blog content during the week, then you can get that here, patreon.com/Andy Shed, for just the equivalent of basically a pound a month on there. So cheaper off the price. Right, where are we? There we are. Back. So it's been a busy week, but it's been a quiet week telephone wise this week. No new phones have arrived this week, but we are still working on old ones. Something that has rocked up this week though, that we are doing stuff with, is this. It's a clock, and it's a fairly troublesome clock because it won't go. So it's all been taken apart and put in clock cleaner, and this is how it comes out of the clock cleaning fluid. It doesn't come out shiny particularly, but it does come out cleaner than it was. So here it is, and this will all now stand putting back together with a little bit of oil here and there, and hopefully it'll go when I put it back together, because it wasn't going, which was a major problem with it. But yeah, I'm hoping we're going to be able to get that going at some point. So that's one thing. Crikey. That's one thing I've been tinkering with this week. But also needing to happen is we are needing to get some of these telephones completed that we've been doing over the last few weeks, and one that needs something doing to it is this red one, this 706 that came in. Now you may remember we had this on a few weeks ago, and basically it's just in a bit of a state. Let me unwrap the cord off it. You'll see it is absolutely, well and truly, totally filthy. Can I get it better on that camera there? Hang on. There we go. You should be able to see it now. There you go. Look, absolutely filthy. But it is basically working. People often say to me, "What do you clean the phones with?" Well, my secret device, I don't buy this really expensive plastic polish, this grey gate stuff and that. No, Brasso, really simple as that. That's what I use on them, and that's what we're going to use on this one, and we will see if we can clean it up a bit and get it looking a bit more something like a bit more sensible as we go through today. Alright, so you take your tin of Brasso and an old cloth. I've got an old towel here, bit of Brasso on the cloth and just rub it on. And not only does it fetch the dirt off, but Brasso is a very slight abrasive. And you can do this with T-cut as well, which is actually a very similar thing to Brasso. If you've got automotive T-cut, it's a very, very similar thing. And when you look at it, you'll see it looks similar and it smells similar. And I reckon it's pretty much the same thing in a different bottle. All you have to do is just rub it on. Use a bit of elbow grease, but not massively, excessively. And you'll feel, if you've got a really dirty phone, you'll feel it's kind of rough when you start, and it gradually gets smoother. And then with a clean bit of your cloth, because look at the dirt and that's come off there, with a clean bit of your cloth, then just polish off any Brasso residue off the surface and just sort of dry polish it off. And can you see the difference yet? I can see the difference here. It looks massively different to me. Way more shiny than it was. Way more shiny. And that is basically all you do to do it. It's as simple as that. But there's just rather a lot of it to do. And the hard part is doing the handset. Handsets are just a bit of an awkward shape, but it's so dirty and dusty. This one, it's got all crud in here, so we'll try and get a bit of that out. Hopefully it'll start to look a bit more sensible. I mean, look how dirty this black handle is. See, and it comes straight up. You just hold one of the little latches down while you polish the other one. Like that. But yeah, so this is what I always use to polish phones up. Always use Brasso. Like I say, don't buy these expensive polishers off online and that you can get from these so-called phone restorers on these expensive websites. All you need is either Brasso or T-Cut. Both things work. You'll find videos where I've used T-Cut and it shines up like that. So I'm just going to keep going and doing a little bit of it. I'll just read what you guys are talking about in the chat while I'm doing it. Christopher says his ATA is working. That's good news, Christopher. Those of you who have got CNET accounts running through my server, it is up and running even as I speak. So if you've got a CNET account on the Stavely exchange, then it is up and running again now after it's been down for a few months. I have got it up and going again. It's been up for 2 or 3 weeks now and seems to have stayed up, so that's pretty good. Dominic says, does T-Cut help restore the shine too? Yeah, it does, Dominic. Yeah, it's exactly the same. I'm pretty sure that T-Cut and Brasso are the same thing, just in a different bottle. But one thing I will say about Brasso is I don't think it's as abrasive as it used to be. I think there's chemicals to shine brass in it now, and it's done more chemically and less abrasively. But it doesn't seem as abrasive as it once was, Brasso. But T-Cut certainly is, because that's how it works for cutting paint on cars. You know, you're just taking the very top layer of the oxidised paint off. But yeah, they both work. And both restore the shine quite nicely. It's how much work you put into it, though. Ian Smith says, I struggle getting the darker cases clean and polished. I used T-Cut on one, but left a residue no matter how much I buffed. It shouldn't, T-Cut. Had you used something else on it before you used the T-Cut? You know, like had you retro brightened it or something like that before you used the T-Cut? You know, something it could have reacted with. Because I've never had a problem with the T-Cut reacting with things. That's never been a thing for me. Yeah, it says Duraglit works wonders. No, not tried Duraglit. Not on plastics anyway. Penfold says, would it not be best to remove the case and pieces and clean them individually? 6 1/2 dozen is other that, Penfold. Sometimes it's easier to clean the case while it's on the phone because the whole thing is more solid. If you've taken the case off, you know, and you're putting some pressure on, the case will sort of move around on a bench and stuff, and certain types of phones have got fairly flimsy cases that you run the risk of damaging even. So I tend to try and do it while they're fairly together, and I must admit I don't polish them up that much. I only sort of get a sort of in-service looking shine to them. I don't shine them to a mirror finish. So you can see that coming, the back of that coming up there now. See, I've not done this bit yet, but that bit's cleaning up. So I don't do them to a mirror finish, because to be honest, who wants to be polishing things? It's not the most pleasant task in the world. But these cases are a very difficult shape to do anyway. I mean, you probably would be better here to take this plastic handle thing off the top. But for the purposes of just getting it a little bit better, this works. As you can see, so it's going basically. Ian says maybe I should have tried rubbing alcohol or something on the case first. Yeah, if there's something already on it first, that can obviously react with something else you put on it. I mean, methylated spirits and that, if you use that on it, that should evaporate away quite quickly, as should rubbing alcohol and stuff like that. What I don't know about is when people have done this retro brighting. I don't do retro brighting. I've never had any success with it whatsoever. I don't do it that way. I do it by chemically removing the top layer of the plastic, because everything that I want to do is smooth, i.e. telephone cases. So I don't do the thing with the peroxide, because I experimented with it, I could never get it to work. Some people do, but they also say about retro brighting that it doesn't last, it goes yellow again after you've done it. And you need either a lot of sunlight or some heat to make the retro bright process work. The 8-bit guy did a really good video on retro brighting using heat instead of sunlight, although he lives in Texas, so he gets plenty of sunlight to do most of his. But he did do an experiment where he warmed up the sort of solution that he made, that he was dunking the parts in, and kept it warm, and he found that worked. Now you can see this is going white now on the back of here, where it's got some Brasso on it still that I've not rubbed off, but you just use a clean bit of cloth and just buff it off dry. If you see any of that, there you go. And it comes off really easy. But it suddenly starts to look a lot better. This is an interesting one. because if you look at the handset cord, although it's filthy at the minute, it's got the thicker wound cord on it, so it's an old cord. This, it's not as tightly wound, you know, it's a wider diameter to the coil, so it's an old one, like the black one on my desk here. That's another one that's an old thick coil, but this is an old thick coil as well, and this one. We'll do a little bit more, and then we'll move on. I just want to do this side so I can turn it round and show you what this side looks like, all cleaned up. Is looking much better now. Much better. I mean, red is one of the better colours to clean as well. There's a bit of residue on the front here that I didn't get off. It's drying white. So I'll just polish the remains of that off. If I now turn that around, you'll see how nice and shiny that now is. So we are getting there with it. Penfold said, I did a bit of retro bright. I used Lidl's Vanish Whitening Powder, and it worked on a 746 cream case that was slightly sun-marked. It took 3 days in a sunny room at midsummer. Yeah, that's the problem, you see. I haven't got the patience to do that. A sunny room in midsummer, it takes 3 days to do it. It says, firstly, all the plastic should be cleaned to get anything off the surface, because obviously if you've got anything on the surface, then the retro brighting doesn't work, because it's acting as a mask to the surface, and it's all about light getting to the surface and stuff. So I'm just reading what people are writing. Daniel says you have to be careful of any inside labels on the phones when you're washing them. Yeah, you do. Although what happens is some of the labels seem to be on a sort of plasticky material on some of them, and if you wash them, if you wash the case, they do sort of just drop off in one piece, and you can, if you want, then put them back again, because I have washed them off like that before and then dried them, flattened them out and dried them, and then scanned them to get a copy of that label, because of course it's very difficult to take a decent photograph of it when it's inside the phone. So sometimes if they do drop off in one piece, sometimes that is actually a blessing in disguise. I think we're getting there. It looks a lot better than it did. A lot better. I'll not say it's perfect, but it's better. I mean, you can put them on buffing wheels like people do with Bakelite phones. The only thing I will say is you have to be very, very careful to use a slow wheel and don't let the thing get too hot, otherwise obviously you'll melt the plastic and damage it. So be very careful if you do that, but I don't generally find buffing wheels are necessary. I can sort of get them as clean as I want to get them. Using this method. It says I've got a black 1967 746 I need to start work on soon. The dust inside is ridiculous. Can't have ever been opened. Must be 1/4 of an inch thick. Wow, that's dusty. They're not. The funny thing about phones is they're either very dusty inside or no dust at all. I find there doesn't seem to be a middle ground in them. What I do is I get a soft paintbrush to get most of the dust out and dislodge it. And that's the way I tend to get the dust out of them. If I've got one that is particularly dusty inside, and it works a treat that. I have heard about people putting circuit boards in dishwashers and things. I have heard about people putting computer motherboards in dishwashers, and provided you dry them out thoroughly again before you use them, apparently it does work. Not sure I'd want to risk it though, but if anybody's got a dirty circuit board or anything that they would like to experiment with, apparently you can do it. Never done it myself, so I'm not going to vouch for it, but apparently you can. Right, Christopher says he had his 1970. Christopher says he's had his 1967 746 wired up for 7 months now as his own phone, and it's still going, and that's hardwired in the old-fashioned way. Excellent, Christopher. Excellent. Penfold says, didn't the Tropical 700s have a mesh screen to stop insect ingress? Yes, the tropicalized ones did. Generally Ericsson's were known for doing it, but yeah, they had anything anywhere where there were holes underneath, they had mesh. Some have a sort of oblong thing here with a bit of mesh over it, but basically all Ericsson did was put mesh over anything underneath, and it is exactly as you say, to stop spiders and creepy crawlies getting inside your phone and making a home in there. With the 746, it's got 2 indents in here for the bell gongs to sit on. They made a kind of sort of domed T-strainery thing that actually fits under the bell gongs to do it. But yeah, that is what they mean by tropicalizing, basically blocking up any holes so spiders and scorpions and other creepy crawlies can't make a home inside your phone. But Ericsson Ericsson 706 clones and 746 clones that you tend to get here are quite often tropicalized, because I think they just did it on the production line, irrespective of where they were going. Denise is with us. Hello there, welcome aboard. Says he's from America, and phones in America are different. Yes, they are. You'll like this. Hang on, look at this camera. There you go. Can you see that in the corner? A 3-slot payphone with no innards in it. I need the innards for that. If you know where I can get the innards for that, let me know. But yeah, I narrowly missed out on another one that popped up on eBay as well the other day. A sort of pinky coloured one. He says, oh my, the Frankenphones. Yes, the Frankenphones. They're not good. Not good. But there was one on eBay the other day, I had a buy it now on it. And but it was a long way to travel to get it, and it was one of your pick up only things, and I was considering it, and in the time it took me to think about it, it disappeared, so I assumed somebody else bought it. So yeah, I was thinking about it and thought about it a bit too long. But yeah, I need the innards for that payphone, because it's got absolutely nothing inside it that it should have inside it. It's been really, really messed with. Right, I'm going to leave this now, the rest of it, for another day. Basically, I've still got the handset to go. My handsets are a right pain to do. Ian says it's 746. He says it does have an alpha bezel, but it's not an original one with the metal ring. So if it did have originally, he's got no idea. Right, well, if it's not got the metal ring, it's not a genuine one. If the numbers are printed onto the surface of the plastic, it's a modern repro one, made yesterday, basically, and it's not something the GPO ever did. It would never have been in spec to do it that way for the GPO, because over the years the printing on the surface would have rubbed off, of course, and because the phones were rented, not bought, that would have meant an engineer having to come out on an expensive visit for the engineer that they probably wouldn't have been able to charge for, and put you a new bezel on your phone, or maybe even change your phone. So they wanted phones to last without needing any maintenance. So poorly designed stuff with like screen printed on the surface of plastic would never have been allowed by the GPO. They just would not have gone for that. Gambo's with us. Evening, Gambo. But yeah, right. Okay. So where have we got to? As we've talked about this thing back here, I'll grab it and I'll show you what's inside it, or rather what's not inside it. Just a second. Now the problem with this is it's extremely, and I mean extremely heavy, and this is with nothing inside it. I can just about pick it up. Oh. God, it's heavy, this. Right. So, here it is. Now, can I get this on a camera so you can see it? This is a problem that I always have with this. I kind of need to sit back with it on my knee, probably. What I'm going to do is take the handset off the hook. I'll put that on the floor for a minute. And then I can take this top cover off. Like that. And then, those of you who know anything about American phones will see there's something missing. There's no coin mechanism in there. There is, interestingly, in the top. If I can get this where you can see it, in the top there, if you can see it in the light, here are these little spinning things that are washer detectors. So when you put a coin in the slot there, they spin round, and a normal coin they push out this way, but a washer, because it's got a hole in the middle, these little pegs allow it to drop straight down and be rejected. But there should be a mechanism, what they call a coin slide, with bells and things on it, that the coin hits as it goes down in there. And what I don't know is if these coin slides are different in different manufacturers' three slot payphones, or if they're all interchangeable. That's what I don't know. So any of you American folks out there, if you can tell me a bit more about this, I would love to know. And if you can tell me where I can get the bits to complete this, I'd also like to know, because if I get it on the other camera, I can show you what it has got inside it. Just 1 second. Right, so here we are now on the other camera, and you see this is the proper mechanism. I think this is all proper, I think. But what I don't think is proper is this, or this circuit board on the back, because that's been bent over there. If you can see that, that has been bent over to make it strike on this. Which does not look right at all. So yeah, not right, the innards of that, but it's been done. It's had the innards out of another phone put inside it, in an attempt to make it work as an ordinary phone. But I have traced all of these wires and that on the inside of here, and it doesn't work as an ordinary phone. So my guess is somebody did this and never quite managed to do it right, and that's probably why it ended up being sold on eBay. So I think we've got to strip this circuit board out to get it back to original. So yeah, if anybody's got any ideas on how we do it, you'll see down here there is a drop here for the coins to go down. into the vault below. So there should be a mechanism in here that meets up with that funnel, so that it goes, the coin slides across, goes ding 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 ding, and down there. But the coin slide that should be above the funnel is missing. But what I want to know is, are those coin slides the same on all 3 slot payphones, or are they different on some to what they are on others? That is the bit that I don't know. So he says, Andy, you have a nice payphone, love it. Yes, but unfortunately, like you say, it's not complete, shall we say. Penfold says, no, I got mine 6 months ago. After I bought it, a few turned up on eBay. Christopher says, that's an Australia AWA 802 circuit board in your payphone. Yeah, I think you've mentioned this before, Christopher. That how on earth an Australian circuit board got in an American phone in the UK, I have no idea. So, Christopher, the question is this bit that I'm moving now, is that bit out of an 802 then? Because I think it is, but I can't understand what it did. Has that been bent? Should they be out flat like that? My suspicion is that that's been bent, and that should stick straight out there, and that one should stick straight out there, and then this bit on the top of here should be bent at 90 degrees like that one is. That's my suspicion, but I don't know. But it's all been botched in an attempt to make this payphone work, and I have tried to make it work with this in, and it doesn't. You know, the wiring is completely wrong for it, shall we say. Yes, he says that is an 802 bit, so I can safely take that bit out then. In fact, I might even try and do that while we're here tonight and get it back to being how it should. Shall we do a bit of open heart surgery on a payphone? Lay it down. Right. There we go. So, is this off an 802 then, Christopher? Does that grommet look familiar on the end of that curly cord? Because that goes straight onto this weird board that is held in with, well, it looks like it's been put in on a piece of foam or something. Need to find some kind of tool to get underneath that. Bear with me 1 second. This could be tricky, but we'll do what we can. Hang on. Right, I'm going to try and see if it will. Has it got a screw through it? It may have got a large screw through it. There. Crikey. doesn't go right through the back. Right. Just seeing if it will pry upwards. Right, let's have a little look. Right, where are those two big screws in the middle there? But they don't come through onto the... oh, one of them does. It's there. Stuck through onto the back. And it looks like it's rusted up solid. So that might give us a problem in getting it out. Right. I need a bigger screwdriver. Have I got one in here, or have I got to go and get one from elsewhere? So, have a little look. No, I might have to go out and grab one, go outside and grab one, because I can't do it with my normal trusty mini one. It won't undo them. Right, I will be back in just a moment. I'm on my way back, honestly. Right, I have brought with me a large selection of other screwdrivers. Now, as you can see here, something that I do whenever I go out to like a car boot sale or anything like that, I sort of collect all the old tools that are in the sort of 10p box and that, And these old screwdrivers, particularly these with the see-through plasticky resin handles, whatever you want to call them, I particularly get those ones because I found a way of restoring these, and I have restored quite a few of them. These are ones that are yet to be done, so they're not the best screwdrivers in the world, but they're just ones that were nearby to grab, to try and get this this thing off here. Right, let's see what we can do. Put some of them on the floor. And let's have a go, shall we? Right. So, there's one with a reasonably decent blade on it. Well, that one. Turn it. Not quite thin enough to fit properly into that screw head. Well, it'll go in that one. I'll turn that one. But it will only turn it so far, and then it stops. Nope, not playing the game. A really big one will not do it, I think. What about this one then? Oh, it's really tight because the screw's gone in and rusted into place in the backboard, which is some kind of dissimilar metal, because that backboard doesn't seem to go rusty. So, and because they're two dissimilar metals, they kind of welded themselves together, but that one's going now. So hopefully we might get somewhere in a minute. Go. That one's out, and look, it had been cut off at the end because it had stuck through the back, so somebody chopped it off at the end. Real bodge job. In fact, I think, oh no, I'm going to say it's a wood screw, but I don't think it is. See, that one's not been chopped at the end. That's when I could feel sticking through the back. That one. So, now they're out. Now, not yet, the whole board. Will now lift out of there. Now, there's been a white wire there, and that's the original handset. Cord, I think. I'm going to pull that off there, because I'm sure that's not right. So all of this now, in theory, ought to fall out. Right, now. Let's see if these are going to pull off, or if they're going to. Yeah, that one's off. One's off. And that one's off. Right, so Christopher's 800 series from Australia. There it is, with a, I guess that's some sort of little buzzer thing. And this, so that all basically has got absolutely nothing at all to do with this payphone. And as we've taken that out, we've now revealed a bit of paper in there that says telephone number, term lock and GRD lock, so term location or grid location, perhaps telephone number. And what is a telephone number? Can we see it? It's 288 9518 by the looks of it, and it looks like it's 1950 something. So now it's starting to look a bit more like it should, but this has been folded over, I'm pretty sure, because I'm fairly sure this should not be bent over. That's all been bent out of shape. In that's a little plastic bit off the end of there, but yeah, I'd say that's all been bent out of shape, big styly. So that probably really all needs to come out and be straightened out. But that now, as far as I am aware now, is the original phone. So that's all we've got of the original. So you can see where it goes down that coin hopper there, and it goes into this vault. Here's your coin return for any rejected coins, because they go down this thing at the side here. Proper coins go down there, rejected ones go down this thing at the side here, and then end up in this hole here. And this thing right at this side, if you get the top like that, you'll see that that thing right at the side is this thing here. So your ejected coins get caught in this and go down here, out there, and into there. But I need something to feed into there that fits inside this piece. And there is a number on the inside of this, if it helps anybody. P97M for mother, 995. P97M 995. And on the lock it says Northern Electric, made in Canada on the lock. So if that helps anybody to identify what gubbins I should have in this phone, please let me know. Crikey, need a breather now. It's really heavy, that phone is. It's unbelievably heavy. Right, what are folks up to in the chat? Miguel says, sorry I can't help on the payphone. I know they do appear on eBay, but could be a complete marriage. Check out that American forum. You may find more info there. Would have had a network, I think. Not sure. Christopher says, so the payphone you got must have gone from the USA to Australia to the UK. Possibly. Although why? Why would it do that? Think of the shipping, think of the weight of it. Unless somebody in the UK's just got bits of phones from all over the place and just cobble things together. Miguel said, there's so many cowboys out there trying to make a quick buck out of messed up phones. A great pity. So always be on your guard. I'm just reading what everybody's saying. Chris says he sent a photo of an 802 circuit board, like the one in the payphone. What are people talking about there? About boxes? Well, according to the blog on eBay, they were untouched, but 2 boxes knocked out. Yeah, out of what? I must have missed something. Cambo says, guess what I bought this week? And it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. I got myself a BT Ultimate 106 at last. Oh, is that a PBX? Not familiar with that one. BT Ultimate 106. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. I've got a Revelation down here, which powers a lot of the telephones and things. That's when I test one phone, you know, when I pick this black phone up on the desk and test a phone that I'm doing, that all runs through a BT Revelation. Right, anyway, I've now got a dead payphone on the desk. But at least we've kind of sorted some of it out. I can take that wire out now, can't I? Now we've unwired it. So what is that then? That's not an American plug, is it? Christopher, oh sorry, you're on the wrong camera. Christopher, do you recognise that? Is that Australian? got some code numbers on it. Is that Australian or is that old American? It's not one that I recognise, that. Interesting, it's a different one, that. Could be either, because of course it was coupled up to the Australian board. And then we've got to also take out this, which seems to have been bodged in, which seems to be wired up badly to an American handset. Who's the handset? Well, this is Stromberg Carlson, so made in USA, this handset. So this handset probably doesn't go with this payphone, because this payphone is Northern Electric, if the lock on the door is to be believed. That is Northern Electric, yet this handset is Stromberg Carlson. So this handset probably doesn't originally go with this phone. Shall we have a look inside this and see if there's any clues inside it? Is that going to come out? With a bit of help from its friends. And it's got a date on it, 8866 in there, if you can see that. 88, yes, I think it's 8866 on there. So that might be right in terms of age. Hello. It's cross-thread the handset time. See if I can get it right. These don't seem to go on right, these. I think that's it. Right, let's have a look at the other end. Oh, and this is 12/7/56 marked on the back of here. So that could be a bit of a marriage, perhaps. Nothing in there. Put that back together. So that's a Stromberg Carlson handset. Now, this phone has got a patent number on the back of it. It says patented 1955, 1957, 1961. Then it says equals 69 on the back of it, this. So is this Northern Electric? This bit? This carcass? I don't know, there's nothing else to identify it. So it may be. So anyhow, that is it. So it all wants a good clean up and whatnot. And then hopefully at some point we'll get the bits for it. I mean, I'm kind of resigned to most likely having to get the bits shipped from America, but getting the right bits is going to be tricky. And I did find a website that dealt in payphone restorations, and I contacted them and they were not helpful, shall we say. I said, have you got the bits for this payphone? And the reply came back, yes, we've got payphone parts. But and it was just like that. Didn't really want to be helpful in selling anything at all. Like, oh, what's he selling there? There's a plate there that's been painted over. Right, can we see that there? If you, right, there, look. Here. What does that say? Oh, Northern Electric. So it is definitely Northern Electric. Yep, that definitely says Northern Electric on it, that. On that plate. Made in Canada. Northern Electric Company Limited. Made in Canada, I think. So it's a Canadian one. Interesting. Or at least it was made in Canada. It might have been used in America, but it was made in Canada. So there we have it anyway. Oh, you couldn't see that, could you? I was on the wrong camera. There. Northern Electric. Northern Electric Company Limited. Made in Canada. So, yeah. How cool is that? But yeah, I want to get this going. So if anybody can help with the bits, let me know. Like I say, we want to get that one going. Right, how are we getting on in the chat? Dennis says, one thing is sure, I love so much the old or antique phones. Oh, well, you're in the right place here. We've got a lot of old and antique phones here. Right. Gambo says, Andy, I've had no luck finding spares for a Bakelite wall phones as of yet. What bits are you looking for, Gambo? These are the Bakelite phones made by Ericsson, the wall phones that we had on last week. Gambo's got some as well, and he's looking for spares. What bits are you looking for them? Well, while I wait for a response, because YouTube's a bit delayed, I will try and put this very heavy payphone back where it was. Right, bear with me a minute. Right, this is where I end up dropping something. Just that bit on it's always a blooming ton. There's not any money in it, is there? No, there isn't. I know there's not. I have had the vault open, by the way. I've not got the key for it, but what I did was I took the screws out of the back and went in the vault, and I look in the vault. It's so heavy, I can't begin to tell you. Christopher says that phone plug is an Australian 1970s phone plug. I sent a photo in the email on my PMG 802. Right, I'll have a look in a minute, Christopher. In fact, I don't think I can, because I don't think it's got here yet. My email gets a bit delayed sometimes. Right. I shall stick that up there again. See, it was up there, out of the way, so I don't have to keep moving it. And then this piece, it's got a rather nice dial on it. So that piece goes on. Somehow like that, and then the handset goes back on there. I'll shove the wires down the back of there out of the way. There we go. It's back in the corner where it started. Now it's back there. Where it started. Excuse the messy desk back there. Right. Move the camera. Yeah. It's also filthy. The desk gets filthy every time I move that phone. Right, so that is the American payphone. But yeah, that, see, it was botched because it was stuck in with that and a bit of cardboard and a bit of foam bodged into it, and what appear to be a couple of very bodgy screws, but there you have it. That is what you get. But yeah, what a bodge job that was, huh? Right, there we go. Done it, sorted it. Right, crikey, it's nearly 10 to 8 already. Right, Penfold says the dial should be metal on that USA payphone. Yes, the one that was on eBay the other day had a metal dial on it. I don't know if they're all metal or if some of them are metal, or obviously the plastic ones fit a bit like ours here in the UK. You can get a payphone and fit an ordinary plastic dial to it, although it shouldn't be. So I'm guessing something similar is probably the case in America. But yeah, I mean, it needs a lot of parts, doesn't it? Let's face it, it needs a lot of parts. Gambo says the bits that he wants for his Bakelite wall phones, he wants a metal dial surround for the case. He's got for the other phone, and a dial 12, of which he's got one, but no finger dial. Do you mean the finger wheel, Gambo? Is it a finger wheel that you're missing for a dial 12? He needs a handset with a cord, 2 handset cords bungs that the cord sits inside. Right, I think they're going to be hard to find. They're like grommets on the end of the handset cord, I'm assuming you mean in there. The handset cord, what should it be? Should that be like a plaited cord? Because if so, we're going to start making some of those. I've got a long-term project on to make some of those, so watch this space for that one. The dial 12. Can't tell you with that one, but if a dial 12 will fit in, a dial 21 will fit in, and a black dial 21 with a specific alphanumeric dial plate behind it was the official thing to replace broken dial 12s with in Bakelite phones. So officially, from the GPO, a Bakelite phone can have a dial 21 in it, a specific type of dial 21. With a specific finger plate and a black finger wheel and all that kind of gubbins. Yes, plaited cords, he says, is what he wants. I have got it in the plan to make some of those, Gambo. It's not actually a plait. You know, like when you're plaiting hair and something like that. Those cords are not actually done like that. It's not a straightforward plait. The key to doing one of those cords, and I've got one here. Hang on a minute. Rubbish out of the way. I've got one here under the desk on an old pyramid phone that's been under the desk here for ages. Right, here we are. Get that on there. Right, you're meaning a cord like this, aren't you? One of these. Right, well, it's not actually an ordinary plait, because when you plait it, like when you're plaiting hair, it kind of comes out flat. If you look at these, they're round. And it took me ages to work out how it was done. I even took an old grotty cord apart and couldn't work out how it was done. But the key to it is this: when you look at it, although these only have 3 connections to the handset inside there, alright, it's actually got 4 cores. Can you see that? Can you see it? There's 4 cores going up there. And that's the key to doing it. You have to plait 4 together. And it's not easy to do, but yeah. But I am planning to make some of this, because this single wire like that, single piece like that, they still make it, and it's used a lot in classic car restoration. They make a version of it that is like a modern cable. So you've got your copper core up your cable, then it's got a plastic coating on it, and then it's got this kind of braid wound onto the outside, and you can buy that in all kinds of different colours, that single core stuff, and it's relatively cheap as well from a cable manufacturer. So my idea is to buy a load of that and then plait 4 strands of it together, or not, yeah, and do that with it. That's what I'm planning, but I've been planning it for a long time and never got round to it yet. But yeah, that's the idea. But yeah, I need some handset bits as well, as you can see from this. I need an end cap for that. But that's one that's been sat under the desk here for ages and ages and ages. That I keep forgetting it's there. Right, it can go back under the desk now as well. Right. So yeah, we're going to do that. put a few things away while I remember where they are. Cool. Right. Okay. We're winning now, I think. Yeah. So. Not what I planned to be talking about tonight. American payphones and things, but hey ho. That's how it goes. Right, I think that is almost a wrap for another week. Unless anybody's got anything that they want to say. Miguel says, is it Litzer wire or Litzer wire? Gambo says £18 on eBay I've seen. Yeah, that's ridiculously expensive. That's ridiculously expensive. Do not buy a handset cord for £18 on eBay. For God's sake, no. That's an insane amount of money. You can buy a big reel this far across of that single core stuff for about 40 quid, and get 100, 200 cords out of it. So yeah. Chris says, did my email come through yet, Andy? No, it's not come through yet, Christopher. It's probably working. It's just not come through yet because my email thing, it only polls the server every 15 minutes or so, and then it has to go from one email account to another. So it can take it 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes if it just falls wrong, between somebody sending it and me getting it. But I'm sure it'll be on its way. Right. So we'll go back to that next week, Christopher, and we'll have a look at that. If that's all right, and we'll see if this circuit board. Where have I put it? The circuit board I've taken out. Where have I put that grotty circuit board that I took out there? Can't have gone far. I've not moved. Come on, where did I put it? Oh, it's down here. So we'll find out next week what's been done to this. Which is an interesting circuit board with two very nasty capacitors on it. These capacitors often blow. You get these exact same capacitors in, or this exact same type of capacitor made by these people probably, because it looks exactly the same, you know, the style of the box that it's in. You get these in U-matic professional video machines, and they blow up spectacularly when they're old. But yeah, very good. We will have a look at that next week. Anyway, right, okie dokie, that is about as far as we go now. Thanks to everybody for watching once again. Please remember, give us a like, and if you've not done so already, subscribe. Remember, we're here every week, or most weeks anyway, normally starting between about 6 o'clock and past. We will be back next week. It is another 6:30 start next week, because in the daytime next Sunday I am at Arkwright's Mill at Cromford for a special event there with the vintage stationary engines. So if you're in the area, this means you, Dominic, get yourself down to Arkwright's Mill from about 10 o'clockish onwards, next Sunday morning, and you'll find us there set up in the car park with a load of vintage stationary engines. But that is about it from me for now. As I say, thanks for watching, and remember, if you like what you do here, you can join us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Andy Shed. It costs the equivalent of £1 a month wherever you happen to be in the world, and you get a little bit of extra content every now and again in the form of blog posts and things through that, if you want to go and have a look through that. So that's it for now. I'm now going to go and wash this crud off my hands from touching that payphone, because it's absolutely loppy, that payphone. But we will hopefully get the innards to it one of these days and get that working. But yeah, that's a proper project to do, that is. So until next week, have a fantastic week ahead, everybody. Oh, one last thing before I go. People have been asking me about Library and Odyssey and the experiment we did last week. I'm still working out quite what the pros and cons are of YouTube versus Odyssey, but it's likely there is going to be a new stream starting on Odyssey to go along with this one. This one will be staying on YouTube, but there'll be something new starting on Odyssey, and I'm toying with the idea of doing a phone-in on Odyssey, so that could be interesting. You could call in. So we're just working that one out. But yeah, thanks to everybody who helped out with that little experiment last week and gave us feedback on it. And it seems, from what people have said, that Odyssey works just a little bit better than YouTube, it seems. So yeah, something to think about there for the future. Anyway, it's gone 8 o'clock, and it's time for my Sunday night pizza. So from me for now, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.